Please come in.
Sir, may I come in?
Please.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Not exactly morning.
I'm sorry, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Take a seat, Ankur.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
So, a brief introduction from you, Ankur.
So, my name is Ankur Kumar and I am from Patna. I came to Delhi in 2013 to complete my BTech in Engineering Physics from IIT Delhi. And after that, one of the college projects which we were working, we converted that into a startup company. And I was part of that till last year. And last year I got into Indian Revenue Service, Customs and Indirect Taxes. So right now I'm on extraordinary leave and on probation.
Oh, so congratulations.
Thanks.
And what were the marks in the interview?
172, sir.
172. But tell me, with this kind of a background and IIT Delhi, very prestigious, right?
Sir.
Startup of your own, a patent in your name. Sir. What drew you to the civil services?
Sir, basically in the startup, our work was more concentrated on the development of technology part. And I felt that there is significant infrastructure in technology development, there is significant infrastructure in manufacturing, but the gap, the translationary gap is there. And I felt that while being a part of civil services, I'll perhaps try to bridge that gap. And with the scale and the kind of network one gets in civil services, the impact would be much larger than working alone in a startup company. And secondly, it will mitigate my own risks as well, sir.
Tell me something about your patent.
So basically, we were working on agricultural residue, padali, which is burnt, and we developed a technology to convert that into pulp, and that pulp could be converted into paper plates, paper bags, these kind of items. So conventionally, it is done using craft process, which is followed in 100 tons per day paper mills. But what we wanted to do, we developed a technology which can do it at a scale of 3 tons or 5 tons per day. So the production can be decentralized and value can be added near to the farmer site. So that was the idea, sir.
Did you not peddle this idea to the government?
So we got around 2 to 3 CR funding from the government, various schemes of government, sir.
Very good. Now, your father is a medical officer.
Sir.
Is it? Tell me the different types of twins who exist.
I'm sorry, sir. I am not aware of this.
Identical and fraternal twins, have you heard?
Not sure, sir.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. Let's get on to mythology then. You're seeing my name. Who would be linked to me in mythological terms?
Love and Kush.
Yeah, finally you got there. Anyway, now what do you envisage as the role of the civil services in a democracy like India?
Sir, civil servants are perceived as being the leaders, and firstly, their role is to drive the moral fabric of the society. Secondly, they have a role-based job, as in the job is to implement the rules as well, but the idea is to bring in some change and innovation in order to solve the democratic problems, be it increasing incomes on ground, be it solving environmental problems, be it implementing law and order, or perhaps increasing the revenue as per my current job preparation.
My final question to you, what is your view on simultaneous elections?
Sir, in a large democracy like India, simultaneous elections, basically elections carried at center as well as at state, is going to be, I believe, can pose administrative difficulty, because in order to be free and fair, manpower, security, all these things are required. So I think that the idea is bona fide in terms of overall cost reduction, but the implementation part is something where we need to kind of bolster up, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Ankur,
Sir.
you are from Bihar.
Sir.
How can you remain not active in politics?
Sir, I think politics is basically how one's ideas and one's opinions to solve problems, but one can always have one's opinion. So I'm active in politics, but in my own personal sphere.
Good, good. So nowadays, the name of Prashant Kishore
Sir.
in Bihar politics is emerging quite strongly.
Sir.
And he has certain views about development of Bihar. You said that the civil service gives you a lot of opportunity in terms of development and all these things. And he also has raised some of the issues which could change the face of Bihar. So are you aware of those?
Sir, I'm aware of the problems which Bihar faces to a certain extent, but not
And the
specific.
solutions which Prashant Kishore gives?
Sir, I'm not aware of the specific solutions which Prashant Kishore pointed out. Sir.
Okay. So what, in your opinion, has ailed Bihar so far? And what are the ways out?
Sir, firstly, at present, Bihar is one of the fastest growing state and has become the largest producers of fruits and vegetables, in fact. However, the problems are there due to its specific, there are a specific region-based problem because of its high population density, poverty, and other reasons. And I believe that second problem is due to the historical factors that land reforms were not able to be successfully implemented, and that resulted into caste-based politics instead of merit, or rather a more community-based politics as such. And thirdly, sir, I believe that connectivity is also a problem, was also a problem, because earlier we were not able to export products to other parts of the nation. But at the moment, national waterways is in fact also being developed. The national waterways one which connects Patna to Kolkata. So there are many opportunities which are coming up. And finally, if we talk about education and healthcare also, IITs, AIIMS, NITs have been built. So Bihar is kind of emerging as
So in your opinion, Bihar is doing good and it will progress very fast?
I believe that, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. So in terms of your, coming back to your subject, no, engineering physics, nowadays everybody is talking about sustainability.
Sir.
And sustainability is nothing but engineering physics. You are talking about entropy, you are talking about enthalpy,
Sir.
you are talking about laws of thermodynamics. Okay. But here is a kind of oppositional view. The entropy of the world is increasing.
Sir.
That everybody agrees?
Sir.
So how can we become sustainable if the entropy is increasing?
Sir, if we talk at a metaphysical level, so entropy, increase in entropy signifies that there is change which is happening. Now, how we are harnessing the energy of that change, how we are harnessing the energy which is being released out of change in entropy, that will perhaps direct that whether the development is being carried out in a holistic manner or not. Like, for example,
Development has to be orderly, no?
sir,
If development becomes disorderly,
sir,
it becomes a conflicting situation.
sir,
And entropy is disorder will increase.
sir. So,
Are these completely opposite things?
entropy signifies the degree of randomness of a system. Now that will increase whenever there are some new ideas, whenever there are disruptions, and whenever there is a change. Now it depends on our attitude, our economic structure, and our rationale, that are we able to find any order in that chaos or not. And if we are able to find that order, like for example, sir, at the moment there are geopolitical conflicts which are going on all around the world. Now, amidst all the geopolitical conflicts, India has shown a resilient economical infrastructure in terms of controlling the inflation, in terms of providing healthcare and education facilities, in terms of proving that it can be the home of largest startup ecosystem.
Good answer. Good answer.
Thank you, sir.
Presently, you are with Department of Custom Excise and now presently what is it called? Is it still called IRS or?
Sir, IRS, Customs and Indirect Taxes.
And you have your academy where? In Faridabad?
So this year shifted to Palasamudram, sir.
Okay. Thanks for updating me. Well, what's the motto of your service? Every service has a motto.
Sir.
And you represent as an inspector service.
Sir, I think it's Sevaarth Kar Sanchay.
Okay, I will respond once we have a feedback to you. This is a service which is administering GST. And the latest collection, last month collection is 1.87 lakhs
Sir.
crores. But despite this good collection keeping coming, we find that there are loopholes, there are issues which needs to be tackled. To your mind, what are those issues which is we need just to grappling with, and how do we address them?
Sir, firstly, there are many small players which are not still registered within the realm of GST, and even if they are registered, they are not. They are finding it difficult to comply with the monthly filings, and they are not opting the GST composition scheme. Secondly, sir, at the moment we have multiple rate slabs, which can be and should be perhaps rationalized to bring some sense of predictability that will enhance the ease of doing business if we talk it in a comprehensive manner. And finally, sir, I think that the input tax regime, the input tax credit which one gets, there are some significant loopholes which are getting exploited, which results in some cases of forgery and fraud, which I think should be something which can be looked up to, sir.
You're aware of that the tax evasion still takes place, and there's a massive. You go to Chandni Chowk, you go to any area of wholesale, that you find that you can transact and you can buy anything without being invoices being issued.
Sir.
How do you check that out? In terms of preventive measures, in terms of corrective measures.
Sir, in terms of preventive measures, there are mechanisms like e-way bill, e-invoicing, etc., which can be implemented in each part of the value chain. So that, for example, if the wholesalers are selling a particular item, then it will go from place A to place B, and it has come from place 2C to place A. So in that part, we can trace the product's transportation. And secondly, sir, in terms of corrective measures, we can perhaps use technologies like artificial intelligence, etc., in the overall GST implementation, so that the system itself detects if there is any flaw in any company's GST filings, and we can take some due penalties for that particular company, sir.
Essentially, the chain has to be broken from one manufacturing to the end consumer.
Sir.
Anyway, you are engineering physics from IIT Delhi.
Sir.
Who were the Nobel Prize winners for physics in 2023?
Sir, I'm sorry, I do not remember the name, but it is in.
What is the contribution?
So it's in.
Contribution is more than important than the name.
So it's in the field of Atterberg physics, like 10 to the power minus 15 second physics. So it kind of opens a new realm to understand the microscopic or the quantum nature of the systems. So.
Fair enough. I mean, good answer, I would say.
Thank you, sir.
But names are, as I just noted, that's John Clauser, Zellinger, and Alan Asperger. You could check up when you move out of the room.
Sure, sir.
Now, this is an interesting thing here. You write poems, Hindi poems.
Sir.
What is that poem which is really giving you that kind of impetus and the kind of incentives to shape your personality?
Sir, I generally do not read much of poems, but when I write, it is more about articulating my thoughts whenever there is an inner dilemma, there are contradictions within me. So writing in an organized fashion gives me more clarity.
Wait, two lines of your poem, please.
सर, ख्यालों में तो लगता पूरा जहाँ ही है, मनोवेग सी गति कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचा देती है, कुछ बातों का सृजन, कुछ बातों का स्मरण, कभी कभी तो लगता हकीकत सा ही है.
Thank
you, sir.
Do you understand the difference between a poem and a poetry? There's a fine distinction between a poem and a poetry.
I'm not sure, sir. I'll check this.
Okay. Read it. Madam, to you.
How are you, Ankur?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ankur, Bihar, let's go back to Bihar. Bihar has so much to offer by way of tourism.
Ma'am.
There's so much that is there. But why doesn't Bihar feature as a tourist destination? If you were to draft a policy, what were the one or two things you would do as a first step to make Bihar, let's start with domestic tourist destination?
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, firstly, I'll adopt two approaches. First would be the bottom-up approach, and the next would be the top-down approach. In terms of top-down approach, I'll focus on the marketing and sales part of it, so as to project Bihar as an aspiring destination where one can come, families can come and spend some quality time, or religious visits can be there. In terms of bottom-up approach, ma'am, I'll invest more on the infrastructural part so as to improve the connectivity to different regions within Bihar, provide training facilities to promote hospitality sector, and thirdly, ma'am, I'll also focus on proper law and order implementation so that women and children feel secure at even night time also. So such kind of holistic measures are required to deliver the promises which we are offering on the marketing and sales part, and then we can perhaps assume that tourism will improve.
Shouldn't marketing and sales come last? Because even now the infrastructure is poor, right, for tourism?
Ma'am, I think that these two can go in parallel. Like, for example, even if we have not 100% good quality roads, we can always project it as a village tourism. So it is all about what is the story we are selling.
But you might get discredited in the process. That will be even worse. Won't it be by way of mouth? It's the time of social media, so people may actually put a post saying that all the campaign is absolutely has no basis.
Ma'am, I think that both the approaches have to go hand in hand. So my point is that we are not going to sell broken roads. We are going to sell frugal roads. Those are roads which are being made by resources which are locally available. So that kind of minimum viable tourism model can be started, and then as and when we get tourists and footfall, we can perhaps get some more private investments.
So Bihar's neighbor is Nepal.
Ma'am.
So what is the relationship that India has with Nepal? Why is it not, why does it go through ups and downs all the time?
Ma'am, with Nepal, we have roti beti ka rishta. So it has to go with ups and downs. And secondly, if we talk about the international boundary, that is defined by river flows which change their position. So that is one part. Secondly, ma'am, the influence of China in the region is perhaps a point of contradiction. India as such is visualized as the big brother. So that is one part of it. And
but India being visualized as big brother has got nothing to do with China, no? The Nepalese don't particularly like us, do they?
Ma'am, to my experience, we have significant connections with the Madhesis part of the Nepalis, but there are differences between the Pahari communities and the Indians to a certain extent, ma'am.
Have you been to Nepal? Have you visited?
I have been there one time, ma'am.
Where did you go?
Ma'am, I went to Janakpur and then to Kathmandu.
Okay, you've been to Kathmandu. Yes, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ankur, you are from Patna.
Sir.
Can you tell me who gave the name Azimabad?
I'm not sure, sir. I will check.
Are you agree about the name Azimabad?
Sir.
How it is associated with the...
So this I am not sure. I'll have to check this, sir.
it was a historical name for the Patna,
Thank you, sir.
given by the grandson of Aurangzeb.
Sir.
Okay, you have done engineering, physics in IIT Delhi.
Sir.
Okay, can you tell me, will technical education help your administration more, or your literature? Because you also have a hobby as writing poems.
Sir.
What will help you more in the administration?
Sir, administration requires elements of each skill as such. Technology on one hand provides us an analytical thought process and provides a tool to serve public service delivery in a better and efficient manner, while the literature part is something which provides a humanistic touch and a sense of emotional intelligence to connect with people and understand their problems better. So mix of both can perhaps provide the requisite skill to solve the problems and establish better connections with the society as well and increase the trust in the system.
Can you tell me what physics is involved in working over them. Recently, there has been shootouts all around the world, especially in US schools and roles.
Sir. Sir, I'm not sure about the trigger mechanism, but what I am aware of is that the bullet is basically revolving so that it do not change its path and travels a linearly projectile path to a certain extent.
Are you sure?
The bullet rotates, that sir I'm sure, and it is the rationale that it does not change its trajectory and follows a linear path. But the exact mechanism of the trigger, I'll have to check, sir.
Who's your favorite poet from your office?
Sir, I have not read much of the Hindi poems, sir, so I do not have any Hindi favorite poet as such, but I'll read more on it, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, Ankur, that brings us to the end of our formal interaction.
Sir.
Before we get to the detailed feedback, I'd like you to give your assessment. How did the interview go?
So I think 6 by 10, something like that.
Well, what I would like to say is that already, you're in a very good space. But at the same time, the expectations from you will be much higher and you'll be judged by a much higher bar, right? So, firstly, I'd give you the basics. Your shoes must shine fully.
Sir.
You can sit in a more relaxed fashion. Your hands can be like this. At the moment, no, like this.
Okay.
Yes. This is a friendly interaction. You've been through this before, so you would be knowing. It's not an interrogation. This makes it look as though you're awaiting death row. Sit like this.
Okay.
You have a very impressive CV, right? You've done a startup. You've got a lot to be proud about. So go there with that in self-confidence and poise. They're not looking for knowledge at this stage, right? They're looking for attributes of an officer. So how articulate you are, how aware you are of what's happening around you. So DAF you need to, brush up a little bit.
Sure, sir.
Then they're looking for logical thinking, balanced opinions, lucid exposition, all this. So when is your interview?
So 30th January, sir.
30th January. In this period which is available to you, what I would suggest is, because the questions mainly come, you would have seen last time also, they come from your DAF, they come from current events, and they come from your subject. So just keep brushing up on all these topics. Maybe, you could take, say, about 40 of these A4 size sheets and jot down these possible common questions which come, possible topics, then do a deep dive on each and reduce them to 4 or 5 bullet points in order of priority. And then sit in front of a mirror and keep on practicing and seeing, maybe you can videotape yourself. So one thing I would suggest is that your voice modulation needs to be there. It's at a very, even keel throughout, so it becomes a little monotonous.
Sir.
So from time to time you have to emphasize, at other times you can dial back. So that needs to be done. But all said and done, I think you're on the right track. How have your mains gone?
So the optional paper was not good as compared to last time, but essay was better than last time. So it's a mix of both.
Okay, so you need to smile also a lot more, because throughout the interview you're looking very grim. Now you're smiling and you've got a good smile. So use that to your advantage. Basically, you have to leverage your strengths. And I don't think 172, you got 172, right?
Sir.
That doesn't do justice to your potential.
Sir.
You should aim at close to 200. And I'm quite sure you'll get there. If you put in a little bit of the hard yards, and you'll get there.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And your hair needs to be combed,
Sir.
clean shaven, all those things.
तुम्हारा फिजिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ठीक होना चाहिए और तुम जब बोलते हो ना
Sir.
तो तुम्हारी आईज जो है ना, तो लगता है कि तुम ऐसे हो करके बोलते हो। व्हाई रिलैक्स होकर बोलो, यहाँ क्या हो रहा है? सामने बताया ना कि यहाँ कोई फांसी तुम्हें थोड़ी पड़ रही है।
सर वो सोचने के लिए ऐसा
नहीं
But you
don't have to stress.
personality.
I think
It's
good.
good smile, yes.
तुम्हारा सारा चीज बहुत
You'll
बढ़िया
crack this type.
तुम्हारा स्माइल बहुत अच्छी है स्माइल करो
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर।
अच्छा, तुम्हारा मोटो था देश सेवा कर संजय।
देश सेवा कर
आपकी डायरेक्टर ने अभी इशू कराया है, डायरेक्टर ने सेंड किया।
बेस्ट ऑफ लक
थैंक यू सर,
Best
All
of
the
luck.
best.
You'll do very well.
थैंक यू सर।